All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green and Checker TV. Happy Easter, everyone. We are here, the Area 51 Superspeedway series, saying we're going to be doing a all-star event this evening. You can see there on the bottom left of your screen, 75 laps is the distance. Basically it's open to all drivers, so we're going to have a couple people from kind of all three series, really. So we got the Superspeedway Cup guys, of course. We got the IndyCar, some IndyCar drivers, and of course we got some of the Cup regulars as well. So hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday evening. 75 laps is going to be our race distance, and there's going to be some cash prizes to those in the top three. $30 for first place, $20 for second, and $10 for third. So saying the other thing, Dale, that we have this evening is going to be two fast repairs this evening instead of the typical one. So might see a little bit more aggression out of these drivers. And of course with these, we're actually running the Xfinity cars tonight instead of the Cup cars. So we know these things can lock on, they can tandem, they suck up real fast. And so we're going to be seeing speeds back up into that 240 almost 250 range here. So should be a lot of fun. And of course, before all that, glad to have you aboard with me again this evening. It's going to be, we'd be curious to see what we got in store for us this evening.
Yeah, man, great to be here. As always, excited to see how the Xfinity cars run on this track. It's something I haven't personally witnessed yet.
Yeah, so they're definitely racy here. And this is, I'll say for us, NASCAR 2003 regulars that used to run this before coming over to iRacing, it's kind of fun to see this track come back. I mean, I say when I heard this track was coming back, I was really excited about it because it's basically plate racing on steroids, where no restrictor plates and you're just full tilt, like balls to the wall basically. And some drivers, let's say, are getting familiar with the track. I know at least one driver who literally bought the track today, so he's trying to get to grips to it pretty quickly here. So it'll be fun to see kind of the adjustments some of these guys make compared to the normal racing as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I say hopefully everybody's able to race this one just kind of on the fun side of things instead of taking it too seriously. Like, I mean, of course, on the points race side of things, no points tonight. All about the just trying to get the top three, get some money, have some fun, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a good one tonight.
Yeah, excited to see the turnout. I mean, so far, 27 drivers in here.
Yeah, it's a pretty good group tonight, and we just finished up our qualifying now, and it looks like on pole position is gonna be the 03 of Kevin Hash, and he is going to better Kevin in the 25 machine. And then in third, we got Todd Merkel, Eric Laurie, Bud Steele, Raymond Rittenauer, James Ledford, and Gabe Butler. 9th through 16th, you've got Michael Spell, Dean Wilkinson, Alberto Lopez, Maxwell Caldwell, Chad Wilkes, Matt Wagner, Dude Conrad, Paul Patterson. Then 17th through 24th, you got Bobby Hash, Dale Willoughby, Matt Quick, Ryan Kelly, Kyle Hess, Robbie Richards, Dwight Plush, and Jim Brooks. And then the remainder of the field here, you got Todd Siebels, Randy Miner, and John Brill. Alright, so what we're going to do here is since we're having fun tonight, we're going to grab our pole sitter, be able to say it's a long pace lap, so we can grab him in here. And we will get a word with our pole sitter, that's 03 of Kevin Hash. So we can find a good little shot. I don't have my fancy camera set up here tonight, so we're going to have to make do with what we got. So we'll pull in our pole sitter, that 03 of Kevin Hash. So, all right, Kevin. So got the pole for tonight. Obviously, just here to have some fun, try to get some extra cash in your pocket. But first off, though, you've bested better Kevin there. So, what's it gonna take here? You feel like tonight for the race?
Yeah, that was the first thing I said. I was like, "Holy crap! I'm not supposed to be the Kevin to get the pole." But yeah, luckily I got a pretty good run on that lap. Probably never do that again. But I guess strategy is just going to be try to stay up front, try to keep track position, try not to burn the tires up the best I can with it being a 75-lap race. And me personally, I haven't ran this car enough to know how the tires are going to react and everything. So I'm going to have to try to figure that out pretty quick, see if it wants to run the high line. We may have to try to move everybody up to the top line and try to save what tire we can. But yeah, really just try to fill it out here at the beginning, see what it's going to be like, and try to get as much data and knowledge put back for next week when points count, and try to see if we can't win some money tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of a two-bird situation here. We're obviously try to have some fun, but like you said, try to learn and get some cash too. But yeah, I think the critical one for you guys is learn a little bit going into next week, because with that cup package change, just hasn't put on the racing I think that the that the people have been hoping for. So say everybody's kind of adjusting and switch to the Xfinity car to kind of finish off the season, it looks like. So like I said, it feels like this will run pretty similarly from what I've been seeing, but yeah, I mean, of course, some adjustments you got to make. So yeah, it should be fun to watch. I know you guys are about to get rolling here off in turn number 3, so I'll let you get back with your guys, and good luck tonight.
10-4, thank you, sir. And give a shout out to Larry and tell him that he doesn't need to blow up my messenger every time I get an interview.
All right. Well, I'll say if I catch Larry, say if he wants to hop in Discord, I'll pull him in here. He can have a chat with us, and he can kind of badmouth you if he wants to. So, Larry, if you're listening, hop on Discord. We'll bring you in here, and yeah, good luck tonight, though, Kevin.
10-4, thanks, sir.
All right. I'll say Larry Yingling, one of the friends of Kevin Hash. I'll say obviously if you watch Area 51, you know Larry. I say he's one of the dominant drivers in that Cup Series. But he's gonna just have fun with his friends. It looks like tonight. But say up front though, here we go. Dale, Kevin Hash is going to lead the field to green. Once that green flag flies, we will be underway. And say flagman just waves the flag, and so we are scheduled here again. 75 laps is the scheduled distance tonight here at iRacing Superspeedway.
Yeah, I got to clarify on this. I about said Kevin, but Kevin Hash, he got out good, and Freeze is going to jump in behind him. So I'm really interested. What I'm looking for here to see how this top line forms up, because we haven't seen it pretty much all season. Well, for what, a month?
Yeah, so yeah, once that package changed, you're right. So I didn't see a lot of it. And so yeah, so right after that, obviously you see him jump to the inside, but you already see on the top side, we talked about some of these drivers that will be ones to watch, and you see Eric Laurie and Raymond Rittenauer, they've jumped to the top. However, though, you see a couple drivers moving towards the middle, leaving Eric Laurie actually here out to dry on the top side. Oh, close there between the 88 87 entering turn number 3. Quick hands by Raymond to avoid that contact there. But this is one of those ones you got to kind of build up the speed, build up the momentum. So I think like lap 2 or so is really when it's going to see that top line kick off here. However, Matt Wagner eager to see if that top line works. You see as he jumps to the outside of my 88 of Michael Spell.
Always seems to be it's going to be either Matt Wagner or Charles Johnson that really wants to go to the top side and try it out before anybody else. But not a big surprise to see the 11 car up there right now.
Yeah, exactly right. So he needs to find some friends, though right now doesn't have that at this point. So he's still making pretty good ground up there. Saying I was curious to see if there's anything on the side of like the side drafting and all that with the Xfinity cars. I think that's just on the Cup car side, but we'll have to keep an eye and see if that does come into play. One thing you can do, of course, is just try to kind of pinch the exit off, if you will, of some of the guys to the inside to help your momentum on that top side. So right now, though, Matt Wagner is leading that top groove here, and he's about to get some help from that number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer as they're about to hit turn number 1 here.
Joe decided he liked what he was seeing behind him and jumped to the high side as well.
Yeah, I'm saying saying exactly like Kevin Hash was talking about. A lot of these guys are Super Speedway Series regulars, so this is going to be a really good opportunity as well for them to try to see what you can and can't do for next week once the points start coming back into this. As you see, Matt Wagner, he decided to take that momentum to the top side, try to clear the 6 of Bud Steele, and does. So does Raymond Rittenauer there. So big move by that 11 car. Oh, yeah, we got caution. Looks like the 13 Ryan Kelly, yeah, a little bit of damage to the nose of his car. See some others involved in this one. Looks like the 101 of Randy Miner, heavy damage to the 101. See, I think I saw the 45 avoided it there. So let's go back, see what happened here. Dale, bring out the first caution, and it would also help if I turn off this image here so not everybody's seeing the things about the event here anymore. Alright, so let's see where we all kick this off at. Looks like it might be around Ryan Kelly. Oh, yeah, you see there the 13 Ryan Kelly. He catches the apron on the entry to 3. Does a really good job of avoiding sliding up, but we've seen a lot there. You see the 17 behind him, Chad Wilkes. Unfortunately, I think that's where the contact begins there. We're just kind of stacking up there. And then you see the 45 101. They make contact with one another. So it looks like about a 3-car incident, at least at this point. So... And that's, actually it looks like, I'm jumping back down low here. See the 26, I'm sorry, of Paul Patterson. Oh, the 7, actually, he takes a pretty big shot, Dale Willoughby. So it looks like a handful of cars involved in this one. I think, saying, again, no bias or anything on my side, but I think that 76 there is able to sneak through that Jim Brooks. And let's say we'll do a quick onboard look from his side to see what he saw there, because I think he just found a way to get through that, Dale.
Yeah, I was watching and about a paper width between him and the spinning cars. And we seen Jim make, a similar move like that the last time we were here, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, say we'll go at speed here. You can see the smoke, you can see, and now you can't really see anything, so you just have to hope you're guessing right, and you're right, just a paper width between himself and that car to the outside. So we'll say we're going to go back here because we got some pit stop strategy going on here. Looks like most of the leaders coming in. Looks like the first one staying out is going to be the 48 of James Ledford, but yeah, it looks like our top two definitely hitting the pits here to start things off.
Yeah, as me and you was talking about before the race, you know, about 20 laps of fuel run, so 5 laps in, this it does help them. I mean, it definitely prevents that late race pit stop, but they're still going to have to, you know, stop 3 more times.
Yeah, so what this does do, yeah, so they can go obviously a little further now with that, but it definitely doesn't reduce a pit stop. So say they're still going to be in the same boat here, and it looks like we're going to have 5 drivers stay out. So it'll be James Ledford, Michael Spell, Alberto Lopez, Bud Steele, and Kyle Hess. They all stay out, so they're gonna, like I said, they're going to have about 5 lap less fuel. Say tires, I don't think will be critical tonight, but yeah, so say, however, some of these guys, again, maybe see what the clean air is going to do. And again, I think a lot of these guys just kind of using this as almost like a dress rehearsal, if you will, for next week's points paying event.
And really, you don't get a lot of opportunities to do that in a league, you know, especially when there's been circumstances that have caused them to switch cars midway through the series, or the season rather. This is a great opportunity for them to do that, and like you said, test everything out, make sure they like it, make sure they're comfortable. And had it not been for, you know, the all-star situation, may not have happened.
Yeah, so it's a good opportunity for these guys. And the other thing, of course, with this being a bigger track here with the 2 mile length, and say I see a couple guys thinking about heading in here to the pits. I was gonna say top 5 have to stay out, because otherwise, if they pit there, they would get penalized for it, and so they do stay out. However, I think we're seeing a different change of strategies here. I think now Kevin Hash and Kevin Freeze, apologies, I think they're going for the strategy of, all right, we're going to go full fuel save here, get to the back and just kind of ride. I think now, so they got those opening laps in, got some laps under your belt, so I think now they're just going to cruise here and kind of see if they can let this race come to them.
A little surprised that Matt Quick didn't take that opportunity to come back down.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. Say we did have a lot of drivers top off there, but yeah, you're right though. With Matt Quick here in the 89 machine, he's going to now restart in the 7th position. I say this might be just for him trying to get some track position back. Again, I mean, I feel like we talk about how good he is at saving fuel. This might be an opportunity for him to kind of equalize with those guys that topped off here, but still have that track position. So we'll have to keep an eye on him for sure tonight in that 89 car. Saying, I like although if you look 2 cars behind that 89 car, so you got the 17 and Chad Wilkes. I was gonna say he's got that paint scheme that kind of stands out on its own, but say we got a pretty colorful one as well for that 17 and Chad Wilkes tonight. So, but say somehow Matt Quick, he finds a way to have that Grumpy Cat scheme from his Cup car also to the Xfinity car. So I say won't have any troubles missing him tonight.
Yeah, Todd Merkel also running the same scheme, you know, as well as Kevin Hash. I was all mixed up there.
Yeah.
Kevin Hash running an odd sponsor for me, because his sponsor is more to do with drag racing than circle track racing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I got a couple drag racing sponsors up in here. So how we're going to jump back up front, we'll talk about that stuff though. Say when we get the next opportunity, that's pretty cool to see though. But yeah, so James Ledford. So you can see though, there's only a couple of cars on the top side here, Dale, with all those drivers topping off on that one to go. The inside line going to be very crowded. So and they just got to make sure that you get up to speed cleanly here, and of course getting through the gears cleanly, because this is a track where it's very easy to spin those tires on the restart.
And we've seen these long single file lines just fall off the draft, you know, and sometimes in large groups of 10 or more cars would just lose the draft and be stuck back there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So far so good. Looks like on this restart. However, Michael Spell, he's going to try to make a move to his top side here, and he gets a good push from the 6 of Bud Steele, and he's going to take over the top spot. However, as soon as I say that, though, Maxwell Caldwell, he gets hooked up to the 6 of Bud Steele, and he's going to shove Bud to the front, but now he's going to peek to the inside in turn 3, and I think this might give Maxwell the run he needs to try to take that spot. As you can see, Matt Wagner with a little bit of a squeeze there, kind of almost a little bit of a hip check, if you will, to that 6 of Bud Steele. But he's going to keep that momentum going here, and it's going to be tight at the line. 17 of Chad Wilkes. He's going to go for the top here, and saying Chad just using the momentum there, and he looks like he's almost about to, he does clear himself on that top side.
Yeah, it's a lot different, like I said, than we've seen in the last couple of weeks. But these guys are definitely having fun. As you can see, people trying different lanes. Uh, Everybody seems eager to kind of take it 2 and 3 wide at this point.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Is with this new package, these drivers like, okay, let's see what these things can do. Let's kind of put them through their paces, if you will. And so yeah, so I say again, I think drivers are going to be taking a little bit more risks, knowing you got those 2 faster pairs in your pocket instead of just the normal 1. So I think, yeah, and of course, like I said, no points on the line. So I think these guys are just going to try to dice it up and have a lot of fun here. As we saw Chad Wilkes make that big move that last time by. Is now you got the 11 of Matt Wagner. He's getting a good push from the 86 of Kyle Hess as they're about to hit turn number 1.
Yeah, and just like we saw with Chad Wilkes the lap before, Wagner was able to get out ahead, just wasn't quite able to clear Chad Wilkes. Coming off that top side down the backstretch here, he might get that opportunity going into 3.
Yeah, it's really all about the draft that you see now. Kyle Hess, he does lock bumpers with that number 11 car. So, but at the same time, though, Maxwell's doing the same thing for Chad Wilkes. So, they've been able to hold this inside line pretty strong here. However, I mean, they're pretty equal. I think it's going to be really all about just the organization and how you're able to stay locked on with those guys around you. So, and now you see Kyle Hess, he's decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to jump to the top here, try to make something happen, which is going to now put, actually, we're going to go 4 wide here as we hit turn number 1. It looks like they just cleared out and go back to 3.
That's not usually a move Matt Quick makes, but he definitely stuck it in there 4 wide, and it worked for the moment, but he's going to fall back because he really doesn't have much help.
Yeah, it says, I think you'll see somebody I feel like is going to want to try to take the leap and jump to the top here. I was going to guess in front of him. Actually, it's going to be the 20 car behind him, Alberto Lopez. He's going to join the party here in that Home Depot machine. So kind of fitting with that number 20 being the Home Depot Tony Stewart sponsored car. So yeah, so we'll see. So right now you got a couple Joe Gibbs Toyotas now behind the top group. But as I say that, Matt Wagner says, no, I'm going to go back top here. I'm going to try that 3rd line again.
Yeah, Matt Quick's just staying, kind of letting them drive by, which I don't think is a horrible choice, but it gets real tight in the entrance of the corner, as we just saw.
Yeah, that's the thing with here. It's super wide, but it's really tough to make sure you hit your marks every time. And yeah, you're right. We saw the 12 car, Robbie Richards, just get a little too wide there on the entry, and he washed up there. And that's really the most dangerous part about this track is kind of that wash up that you'll get when you enter side by side with somebody. You just got to be careful, and especially if you're on the middle top group, it's really easy to kind of wash up to that outside wall. So Chad Wilkes, so I mean, him and Maxwell Caldwell, they say they're working this really well here early on. Still controlling the pace here, as you see. Matt Quick, he's jumped to the top side here. But again, Matt Wagner, he's not content just to ride there in that second line. He's going to jump back to the top here. However, this time does not have any help, so I think this is not going to go the way he was hoping for.
Yeah, he's definitely going to lose those spots. One of the things you notice is they enter and exit the corners. iRacing Superspeedway is a lot different than Talladega and Daytona, in that Talladega and Daytona, you gradually transition into the corner. Here, the car unloads, loads, and then unloads again real quickly, and that's what causes the cars to wash up the track like this.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like you're like dropping down on a roller coaster. And so, yeah, like I said, we've always kind of accustomed this one to being like almost like a Dover on steroids, where it's a very similar setup where you've got the high banking still in the straightaways. But then as you go down into the turns, you kind of you drop into the turns there instead of like I said, instead of having that progressive banking. So it's a really, like, obviously with this being a simulator, those that have like maybe a motion rig or anything like that, I'm sure it's a very awkward feeling just kind of like dropping down into the track. But yeah, this is definitely a handful of a track to do. And of course with the unrestricted engines here, these guys going about 245 or so entering the turns here.
I'm interested in the engine temps as we see Matt Quick take the lead. But I've been watching Max Caldwell, and he has just been pressed against the 17 of Chad Wilkes.
Yeah, and that's going to be another thing these guys are going to be wanting to test, is to see what they can get away with on the pushing side of things, and how long you can stay locked on, how you stagger off. Does that help your oil? Does it help your water? Because those are going to be really critical, because I say it's going to bring this tandem draft back into play, of course, with us going over to these Xfinity cars. So you're exactly right, though, Dale. And Maxwell's done it. Oh, as I said, we got contact between the 88 there. We're going to have a spin off of turn number 2. Oh, we got a couple cars blinded there by the smoke. So we're going to have a handful more involved. Looks like Eric Laurie, Todd Merkel also caught up in this one. And I think I saw another few cars, unfortunately, that got caught up in this one. So Going to be our second yellow tonight, and yeah, so just we'll go back and see. But yeah, Michael Spell definitely took a pretty big shot there. All right, so we're going to take a look here coming out of turn number 2. See the 88 on the inside, and it looks like the 20 of Alberto Lopez on his outside. I didn't see exactly how it all kicked off, but it looked like, I don't know if maybe one of them got tight on the exit or maybe even got loose. It actually looks like you see Michael Spell actually washes up a little bit on the exit, actually a little bit of net coat as well. That's where the 20 and the 88 get hooked together there. And then unfortunately, we saw with the onboard Jim Brooks on the previous caution, you're just kind of blind there. As actually it was Bud Steele that also went around. I saw another car spinning now. It was the 6 of Bud Steele that also went around there. But unfortunately, these guys are just kind of committed to the top, know where they could go, and that's where you see the 071, the 26, and the 45, I believe. Or sorry, no, that's the 90, I believe, also getting a couple shots in there as well. So a couple cars caught up in this one. Could have been a little worse, honestly. But one to say that we didn't catch initially was the 6 of Bud Steele. But now that I'm looking at it, I think Bud just went for a bit of a slide there. So I think he's going to get away with this one.
The good news is we talked about earlier, 2 fast repairs. Guys are going to be able to get everything fixed and back out here.
Exactly right. And I don't think we're going to see any strategy this time. I don't think anybody's going to be staying out. That's a long enough run. Everybody's going to hit the pits. And actually, Dale, this brings us into the pit window, actually, where people can make it from here on 2 more stops as well. So, yeah, so I think this is definitely a no-brainer. You're going to come in. You're going to take fuel. The question will be, does anybody top off? But I feel like even if you don't top off, I think from here you're good to go on those 2 stops, as right now we're at 60 to go on the dot.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I don't see the need to sacrifice track position for maybe a quarter or half a gallon of fuel. I just don't see it making a difference.
Yeah, exactly right. And you see Matt Quick looks like he does fuel only in that 89 car, going to hold on to the lead here. So yeah, so right now things looking pretty good here. And so while we have the opportunity to say, unfortunately, we saw the car catch a pretty good shot, was that 88 of Michael Spell. And saying it looks like actually I might let him be here because he's working on getting the car serviced. However, there it goes. Okay, he was able to get the fast repair done. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pull Michael in because he's actually kind of taken over the duties of the Super Speedway Series admin side of things. And say maybe he can give us a little bit of insight on what he's feeling compared to the Cup cars. And of course, to say just kind of get some insight from him here as well. So he's going to be caught off guard here. So do our best to keep everybody on their toes, of course, this evening. So since we're having fun tonight, so we're going to grab that 88 of Michael Spell. Michael, unfortunately, got caught up there on that incident. However, of course, got the 2 fast repairs tonight. But we're quizzing you here on the admin side of things. Obviously, we made the decision with you, of course, and the other admins with the league to switch from the Cup cars to these Xfinity cars. And so, what are your thoughts so far during this race? Are you feeling like this is going to be the right call going forward?
Oh, definitely. These cars are a lot more stable than the Cup cars, and you can actually bump draft and side draft. So, yeah, I definitely think it's a good call.
Yeah, it's definitely been racy from what we've been watching, and I mean we've seen the big drafts that we're used to seeing, a lot of momentum happening, and you kind of just be able to try to push and push in tandem and get those momentums where you can kind of just jump to a different line when you get that run off. So I think we're on the same boat there as well. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. But however, I see we're on the 1 degree, so I'll let you get squared back away here. Maybe we'll bug you a little bit later on, but yeah, unfortunately, you caught up in that one, but you had the 2 fast repairs, so you got 1 still in your pocket the rest of the way here.
I didn't even realize that till you said we had 2, so I can still go race now.
That's right. Go full send here.
All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, that's the 88 of Michael Spell again. The Super Speedway Cup Series admin, of course, we've got on the IndyCar side of things, it's Jim Brooks that runs the show on that one, and then Brendan Pasalacqua running the Cup side of things on Thursday. So they got a really good team of guys there, and a lot of help too on the setup side of things too. I want to say it's the kind of our usual suspects, as I like to kind of call them, the Raymond Rittenhour's, Gabe Butler and company. I think they do a lot of work to help the admins out with the setups on the Super Speedway side of things. And then I know on the Cup side, a lot of the guys like the Chad Wilkes, Maxwell Caldwell's, They work with Brandon, help make sure the setups are good over there. And then on the Indy side of things, Matt Wagner, he does a lot of help as well on the Indy setup. So a really good core group of guys, a lot of dedication from all of them to kind of just work together to try to basically help bring the best product they can to the races each week.
Yeah, a lot of hours spent on and off the track to make this thing happen by these guys. So.
Yeah, and I mean, these guys they're volunteering their times to do that, so hats off to them. It's really cool to see. All right, Dale, so say a lot of these drivers fuel only, so again, we talked about the tire spin. They're going to have to be very careful about this restart here. Like I said, it's kind of like the Dover on trying and get the throttle down, so we'll see how everybody's able to get going. As you see, a couple of wiggles, but looks like everybody's going to hang on all right. Let's say a little bit of trouble in the back, but looks like we're going to get this restart underway here as we're starting lap number 18.
It looked like Matt Quick kind of caught Chad Wilkes off guard, but it allowed Chad to drop in line behind him, so not a horrible situation for him.
Yeah, the problem he's going to have, though, is those two, we saw how well they drafted together right off the bat, and you can see right away they hook right back up again. That 17 and the 94 Maxwell Caldwell, and they're going to easily clear that 89 there. And again, you see everybody starting to jump around a little bit. Ryan Kelly, he's actually going to join the party. So we've got the Thursday Cup guys now. They're taking 1, 2, 3 here on the start of this race. And as I had a chance to chat with them a little bit before the race during practice, and that was kind of their goal, is if they could find a way to get themselves up front and try to see if they can kind of push to a 1, 2, 3 finish time. That was going to be their goal. So say step one's done. Unfortunately, there's still 57 laps to go to make it happen to the end.
Yeah, it's a long race, but they're in the position they want to be. They can kind of control this thing. Don't have to worry about getting caught up in somebody spinning, because like you talked about, the smoke and all that's a lot more difficult to see during a wreck than it used to be.
Yeah, you're pretty blinded here with the new smoke pack, which is, I mean, it's realistic. As I say, there's no going around that. So it's one of those things where it's nice to see, but at the same time, it's like, oh man, this makes it harder to avoid these crashes. So right now, these guys running 1, 2, 3 though. That 17 and Chad Wilkes, Maxwell Caldwell, kind of been pretty dedicated to him so far early on. And then again, Ryan Kelly. Actually, Ryan was one of those ones I talked to him a little bit before, and he literally downloaded this track today for the first time here. So he's getting familiar with this 250 mile an hour draft track here tonight for the first time.
Yeah, I imagine that first trip around at full speed during practice was an eye opener for him. This place isn't really like anything else you'll see.
Yeah, exactly right. So obviously, like I said, some of us that have raced here before in NASCAR 2003 and such, just say we're familiar with it, but there's guys that have not done this before, and so yeah, this is definitely different than anything we've seen before. As you see Matt Quick, he's going to jump to the top side, but unfortunately off on his own. However, look at the momentum though, Dale. You see he was behind Matt Wagner there, got a good run there off the backstretch, and he was actually able to get up alongside that 13 of Ryan Kelly. So there's definitely something to be said about this top side here and this momentum again.
Yeah, he's not doing bad. I mean, he's just hanging right there next to Matt Wagner down the front stretch. Really surprised Matt Wagner didn't jump out there with him, but he must be happy with this fourth place he's running right now.
Yeah, so I think it's one of the things you get in a certain spot where you start, okay, this is a pretty comfortable spot to be. As I said, the 44 Dwight Plush, he went for a big slide off of 2, hung on to it, didn't lose a ton. He's going to stay in the draft here, Dale. That's some wheeling there for that 44 Dwight Plush.
That's there's no other way to say it. That's amazing that he did not lose the draft, did not hit the wall. I mean, wow.
Yeah, hats off to him. I was like, Dwight's one of those guys, usually we see him kind of just cruise and hang out in the back and wait for the race to come to him. But again, I think in these kind of situations, he's gonna step up his aggression, have some more fun with it. So yeah, good hands though by Dwight. And saying that's the thing is when he's in those positions now, you usually don't get to see him make those big moves. But however, while we were watching that, you're talking about surprised to see Matt Wagner not jump to the top, and so I think he heard you, Dale. Says, okay, fine, I'll get up there. So as I say that, Matt Quick, he's gonna peek to the middle, somehow squeezes between that 11 and the 17 here, as we're gonna go 3 wide here into 3.
Yeah, but the top line just wanted to stay formed up behind Wagner, so Matt Quick's kind of going to get hung out to dry a little bit. He's able to fall back in line now.
Yeah, they stay in line there, but yeah, so. And it'll be fun to see if I think we saw that earlier where I think we saw Matt Wagner actually. I want to say put Matt Quick 3 wide. So I think that's one of those. It's like, hey, you tried it, I'll try it on you as well. But yeah, you're right though. They're back lined up together. But again, now Matt Wagner. No, as I was gonna say, yeah, Matt Wagner slid up a little bit. No, we got a big one here.
I'll take credit for that one because I said they really didn't have to worry about accidents running up there 1, 2, and 3.
Our commentator curse strikes again. So a lot of cars caught up in this one. I say even I think up front, I want to say I thought I saw Chad Wilkes get a piece of it. Oh yeah, he's got some pretty decent right front damage to his car. I say you see one car you don't see in that mix is that 94 Maxwell Caldwell. There he is. He's got some heavy damage as well. So yeah, so I say those faster pairs about to come into good use again here. But let's go back and see how this all kicked off. And it looked like from where I was watching it, Dale, it kind of looked like just the 11 and the 89 were just kind of not exactly running the same line there. And so I think maybe Matt Wagner thought that he was going to have that nice arc into turn number 1, whereas it looked like maybe where Matt Quick was, it looked like the 11 was going to kind of just give him the line there. So, and yeah, those two just unfortunately get together, and then from there, just a lot of cars getting caught up in this one. Also, the 89 to Matt Quick, you can see he takes a shot as well. So trying to find a view to really catch everybody because there's a lot of cars in this one. I believe the 12 of Robbie Richards, yeah, he had a pretty big piece of it as well. So he's already down into the pits here. So unfortunately, say it's going to bring that caution again. But yeah, say again, let's say the extra fast pair definitely going to be coming into good use here tonight. But it's also going to do is it's going to force a few drivers here that were able to get through it, but not through unscathed. They're going to have to do some damage repairs like Chad Wilkes. There's no chance he can stay out here. He's going to have to get that damage repaired or use one of those fast repairs because he's definitely got some right front fender damage on his car.
Yeah, Jim Brooks as well got a little bit into the 26 there on the left side, trying to miss Matt Quick spinning. So he's got a little damage. I don't know that he'll have to use a fast repair. They'll probably just be able to hammer that out.
Yeah, so as you say, I'll take a look at there, and yeah, definitely a little bit of damage. However, it looks like everybody's going to be coming in here. I'll be curious to see if anybody that topped off on that one to go, if they decide to come back in or not, or stay out, I mean. But it looks like actually everybody's coming in here. So actually Kevin Hash, he got a piece of that as well in the 03 car. Saw a little bit of right rear damage to his machine. So I think that's going to be, I think, something that could be repairable. Because, I mean, really rear end damage here, as long as that motor's got full horsepower, you can probably get away with that kind of damage.
Yeah, rear end damage isn't going to affect you too much. Just fenders, bumper, hood, that kind of thing aerodynamically is what's really going to cause the big issue.
So it looks like the race off of pit road, I think it went to Ryan Kelly, it looks like. And we'll take a closer look if we can here at that 17 of Chad Wilkes. See if that fender looks all better or not. So I'm going to go out on limb here and say that's probably a fast repair, Dale, because it's a quick pit stop and the car looks very happy still. So I think he went ahead and took that fast repair. But it's going to put our new race leaders at 13 of Ryan Kelly here. Say again, literally just got the track tonight. I say now going to be restarting up front.
Yeah, Chad Wilkes isn't going to have his partner in crime, Max Caldwell, starting behind him on this one. Max still sitting there in pit lane.
Yeah, I think Max had to take a tow. Unfortunately, I think he had some motor damage and just wasn't able to limp it all the way around. So he's going to hopefully be able to get the tow completed and then get back on track before the leaders come around him. I think right now he's still, I want to say, on the tail end of the lead lap. But he might get tripped a lap down. But if he does, though, I mean, the one thing he's got going for him is he's the only car one down, or that will be the only car one down. So if there's another incident, he would be able to get back into it. So looks like a few drivers here topping off as well. Looks like it's going to start with Dude Conrad. So actually, yeah, it looks like actually a pretty good group here are going to be topping off here on this one to go. Which is say we're at 50 to go here, Dale, and I don't think it's going to affect, again, the pit stop strategy, but I think what these guys are doing is maybe just trying to get that little bit of extra fuel to make sure that they can maybe try to pit a lap later than those in front of them, because while we haven't had a green flag pit stop, if we do, we know how important the in and out laps are, and trying to be staggered instead of pitting with a giant group of cars.
Yeah, just how fast you're entering pit road and how narrow the entrance is, and it's really close when you come off a 4. Like, the entrance is there, so you don't have a whole lot of time to slow down. You want to pit with as few cars as you can.
Yeah, exactly right. So With that said, we got a few new faces up front here. We got this now the 90 of John Brill. He's up into that the third position there in that number 90 car. So that was what was gonna be fun to see is with us switching over to Xfinity cars, see what kind of paint schemes we had tonight. So he's got that number 90. So he's got the Country Time sponsorship, the old Michael Waltrip paint scheme, if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty cool, pretty good looking paint scheme on his car. It's always fun to see what these guys are able to find and come up with. Another one I really like to see was that 26 of Paul Patterson. He's got that Mark Martin paint scheme there, the Winn-Dixie car. So some pretty neat paint schemes that we get to see again here tonight.
I'm really, I mean, I guess it isn't the same, but I'm really surprised you went with the Michael Waltrip on that, not the Neil Bonnet. Neil Bonnet had the pink car though, didn't he?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that one. But yeah, so. Maybe he'll switch over for next week's race. Hard to know what's available as well though. However, though, pace car's about to duck back in. Just going to hand things over back to that number 13 of Ryan Kelly. So we'll see if him and Chad Wilkes can get lined up here. As you see, Ryan is down and away. And yeah, you see he's going to actually pick up the 17 of Chad Wilkes. And it looks like, again, everybody's able to get through the gears here cleanly.
Yeah, they kind of gapped the field, able to get Ryan Kelly and Chad Wilkes in line. And Ryan Kelly Chad Wilkes did a great job leading the field. So this time we'll get to see how well he does pushing.
Yeah, and do need to mention Maxwell is back out on track. He's one lap down. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get to the back of the grid or to the field here before they got back under green. So he's going to be running on his own for a while. But honestly, when you're lap down, that may not be a bad thing here. So you'll stay out of the way of any potential caution. So I think what Maxwell's going to have to hope for here is a timely caution that he doesn't get caught up in. That way he can get back onto the lead lap here. Like I said, we have 49 to go, 48 at the line. As I said, we talked about Todd Merkel. He got caught up in that earlier incident, and he's right back up into the mix here in that fourth spot.
Yeah, John Brill's still up there. They wanting to work that outside with the 20 at Alberto Lopez. So who else is back there? It looks like Bud Steele right behind him too, so he's back in it.
Yeah, Bud Steele's right there. James Ledford's in this group as well. Dwight Plush, he's back in this package. As we saw Dwight have a huge save a little earlier. So these guys are still up here, and that's what I like to see. Is like I said, a lot of these guys they kind of just more are kind of in the cruise control mode, and let the race try to come to them. But in this kind of a race that you have tonight here, these guys are definitely being a little more aggressive. I'd say maybe not taking more risks, but just not riding, if you will. So I really like to see that from some of those guys, like that 44 Dwight Plush. It's always fun to see him up front, showing what he can actually do. Instead of just playing it safe and just kind of doing what he does best on some of the regular races.
At the beginning of the race, talked about maybe the potential of 2 packs forming, and that looks to be what has happened. It's probably 15 or 16 in the first pack.
Yeah, you're right. It looks like Matt Quick's the last car, I should say, in this first group. And then you have to go back to the 26, I believe that is, of Paul Patterson for the second group. So what these guys need to do is they need to make sure that they get reorganized here, because they're not too far off this lead pack. But if they keep staying kind of mixed up as they are here, it's going to definitely be tough to catch that group back. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on in the intervals between them up front. But right now it's about a second or so. And you can see actually Raymond Rittenauer and Kevin Freeze, they're wasting no time. They're going to lock on together here. They're going to try to close this gap. And I have a feeling we're going to see some fastest laps here pretty soon.
Yeah, they're almost a second faster than the leader right now, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm surprised about that. When you're just far enough away where you still have the tone, you can see they've separated because they've definitely caught that group here. They're coming back up to that 90 of John Brill. But yeah, when you get close enough, you can really kind of do some things. So the one downside that's happened here, though, unfortunately, I think we missed something, because also I see the 45 of Todd Siebels. He's showing as a lap down as well in the 45 machine. So actually right now, Todd's not too far away. He's about a full straightaway ahead of the lead pack, but also on his own. And we talked about Maxwell Caldwell. He's unfortunately off on his own as well. Same thing about a straightaway off the lead pack. So right now he's got a good gap though over Todd Siebel. So I think his position is pretty safe on being the first car one down here at this point. All right, one car I did notice have a little bit of damage there, Dale, is that number 3 of Bobby Hash. He's got that number 3 Oreo paint scheme. You can see a little bit the rear is kind of center punched on the back of it, but again, we talked about that rear damage really isn't usually too critical at these super speedway tracks, so I think he's going to be in pretty good shape here still. Say Bobby, of course, right now in the 7th position. As soon as I say that, though, Alberto Lopez, he's going to jump to the top. And here comes Matt Quick. He's trying to make his way back up there. So two of those drivers that were in that wreck, Matt Quick, Matt Wagner, they've almost found their way back to one another here, which is just the way these races always wind up happening.
Yeah, I mean, you always seem to be racing around guys, the same guys every week. And it's just due to how these guys individually approach the racetrack and the varying racing styles, honestly.
Yeah, exactly right. So right now those guys now back into the top 10 here. Say a couple guys we haven't really talked about too much this evening, though. So we'll jump around here a little bit. Randy Miner in that 101, he's right here in this mix as well. He's got that Navy card now. He's with John Brill on the outside line. Jim Brooks on the inside line. He's got Kyle Hess right with him. And then I say we talked about some of these guys that have been just kind of cruising here a little bit, and we saw Dale Willoughby. Unfortunately, he caught some damage earlier on, so I think he's having to be a little bit more cautious, possibly in that 7 car. But one that I'm watching that's going to have to be a little bit careful here, Dale, is that 55 Dean Wilkinson. He's right at the edge of losing this draft, so he's going to have to really stay focused here and kind of hit his marks perfectly, not wash up through the turns here to be able to catch back up to that 7 car.
Yeah, he really does need to run perfect laps, as perfect as he can. Stay down on the yellow line and just basically follow the leader, because he is right on the cusp of losing the draft, like you said.
Yeah, and I think he just got, he's right back there again, so I think he's going to feel a lot more comfortable there. And yeah, actually, he's the fastest car on track that last time by, so looks like he's back into the mix here. So good news for him. I think he wants to stay in that safe spot, but doesn't want to be all enough to lose the draft there. So I say he should start feeling pretty comfortable again there.
Yeah, and that's the risk. You want to ride back here to maybe be able to avoid an accident, but if you're not paying attention and you're just not on top of your game, you can fall back and be a couple laps down before you know it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, right now the leaders they're running in the mid to high 44s, while Maxwell Caldwell, Todd Steeples by themselves, they're running in the 47, so about 3 seconds slower. And that's just that's the issue of if you lose that draft. So right now, say those guys are doing what they can here, of course, to minimize that damage. But Todd Steeples isn't that far in front of the leaders now, probably about a half a straightaway ahead. So that 45 car not too far away from kind of getting caught up by this pack, which again would unfortunately put him 2 down.
The 87 car, Raymond Rettenauer, I've been watching him here for a few minutes, slicing and dicing through the field. I've seen him top, middle, and bottom making passes, and he definitely wants to get back up to the front.
Yeah, I say Raymond. Yeah, Raymond definitely hasn't been showing what his actual pace is. Again, he's kind of one of the ones we point at week in and week out in these Super Speedway Series races. So I think he's just kind of biding his time. But yeah, I think you're right though, positioning himself to be in a good spot. And this is going to be where I'm curious, does anybody try maybe doing a pit strategy here where maybe they short pit? Because right now we're at 40 to go on the dot here, Dale. We talked about that fuel window being about 20 laps. So does somebody like those teammates, of course, like Raymond Rittenauer, Gabe Butler, Kevin Hash, do they maybe consider pitting here in a few laps to kind of build that buffer, of course, for a green-white checker potential finish? Do they consider pitting here, you think? Or are these guys just going to run this thing all the way through until they have to?
I think everybody's going to run it through, and the reason I say that is I think guys are still skeptical and expecting another caution to come out.
Yeah, it obviously is a very good potential here. Like I said, the aggression definitely higher here tonight than most races we'll see on the Super Speedway side. As I said, there's no points involved. These guys are just going after it, having some fun tonight. As you see, Michael Spell, he's been able to recover from that fast repair. He's now working the top side, trying to get the lead back here. So yeah, we'll see if anybody maybe does try a pit strategy here. I'd be curious to see if that does come into play. But if it doesn't, we've got probably about 8 to 9 more laps, I'd say at most, probably, until we're going to see a potential set of green flag pit stops here.
And that would put, just doing the quick math in my head, that would put them, about 7 or 8 laps short on a one stop.
Yeah, exactly right. And I don't think anybody's going to be able to stretch that kind of fuel mileage here. But I say what has been going on, though, is one of the drivers we haven't talked about very much tonight is that 8 of Dude Conrad. He's been able to lock on here with Kevin Freeze. You see Matt Quick as well. So I think these guys are starting to charge here to the front and try to kind of put their stamp on of authority on this race here tonight. Also, Eric Lorry's in that mix, so I say we talked about some of our regulars as I say that, though. Michael Spell, Matt Wagner, they're able to get to the front and get in front of that 13 and Ryan Kelly. So now, say if they stay on that bottom side, this is where I think you're going to see that 8 and the 25 really start to make some speed happen.
Yeah, the 8, the 25, and the 89 all together up there, and Kevin Freeze is just, I mean, touching the bumper of that 8 car trying to go to the front.
Yeah, so I would say this is where it really gets difficult, though. Is you got to stay right on these guys through the turns. You don't want to stay locked on bumpers, but you want to try to stay as tight as you can, stay as lined up as you can. As you see Matt Wagner there and Michael Spell got separated just that little bit there, and that's enough here. That's given some big momentum to the top 2, Kevin Freeze and 8 of Duke Conrad. And as you can see, unfortunately, though, for the 89 of Matt Quick, wasn't quite able to follow along with them here. So now he's going to have to hope to get some help from that 071 of Eric Lorry. But as I say that, there was just a gap opening there between himself and Matt Wagner that he was able to squeeze in there now in the 4th spot. Yeah,
you kind of got a little glimpse of that, trying to do that super low entrance into the corner here as Wagner had a big wobble, and it allowed Matt Quick to jump down in the space he left.
Yeah, so you see Matt Quick, he actually went back to the top, but unfortunately nobody was there with him. But actually, as I say, that caution is back out here. So I'll try to see where it's all going on. It looks like it's towards the back, I believe. I'm trying to see if the 55 was in it or not. Looks like the 101 actually got a pretty good shot of that. That's Randy Miner. He's got the front clip missing. So the big break here is going to be for Maxwell Caldwell. It's probably about half a lap from being put down a lap there. So we'll go back and see how this all kicked off. But this should put Maxwell back onto the lead lap. So it's going to be a big break for him here. I'll take a look here as they enter turn number 1. Oh, it looks. Oh, yeah. You see the 48 of James Ledford just washes up, and unfortunately just catches the left front, I should say, of Randy Meyer. And then unfortunately Todd Siebels, he gets caught up in this one. Oh, also the 44 Dwight Plush, he takes a pretty big shot. I think I saw Bud Steele maybe get a little bit more in that one. Jim Brooks also pretty big hit for him. Oh yeah, big hit to the outside wall. The 1 of Gabe Butler as well. So unfortunately, we talked about Gabe maybe just kind of playing cruise control there, and gonna wind up hurting him a fair bit here on this one. So I think that we see the 44, the 101, the 76, definitely all getting some pretty significant damage there.
I was watching that replay. I mean, I've never really seen anything like that. It looked like the front left of the 101 just kind of jumped up in the air. I mean, I've never seen contact make a car do that the way it did.
Yeah, again, we unfortunately talk occasionally about the netcode situation that you might see from time to time. So that definitely may have been what happened there for that a little bit. But it did seem like, unfortunately, James Ledford washed up a little bit there. So we talked about drivers maybe trying to pit there under green flag conditions and see if they could try some strategy there. But nobody did. So what's going to do here, Dale, is now everybody's going to be pitting here, which will put everybody now in the window here to make it on one more stop to the end.
Yeah, like you say, Max Caldwell is welcoming that caution, as it's going to prevent him from, going another lap down as he was about ready to.
Yeah, exactly right. So this is going to put Max back on the lead lap. Unfortunately, looks like that's going to be the end of the night, though, for the 45 of Todd Siebels. I was going to mention that this will at least allow Todd to be able to be the only driver to get a lucky dog back. So not going to be the case. Unfortunately, he has retired from the event. So not the night he was looking for. But again, it's just all in fun here this evening. So not the night he was hoping for. But again, no points lost or anything like that. As you see, Max goes around. He's going to get his lead, get back on the lead lap here. And I believe on that race off of pit road, it's looks like going to go to the 11 here of Matt Wagner. Definitely some mixed strategy here. It looks like some 2-tire stops, some 4-tire stops, and then some fuel onlys. But Matt Wagner going to win this battle off of pit road under caution. All right, so we just got the one to go here. So a couple of drivers here topping off, including those up front like Dude Conrad, Chad Wilkes, Ryan Kelly. So they're going to be starting a little bit further back here. Looks like actually a good chunk of drivers here topping off on this caution. So that's going to move Todd Merkel actually now up into the second position here in this restart. And then you're going to have Kyle Hess there in third. And say we talked about Bobby Hash, just say having some damage, still has it, but he's going to be restarting in that fourth spot. So again, a lot of mixed strategies going on up here in the group. And actually, I think what we might be seeing here is some strategy potentially. As actually I'm watching right now the 94 Maxwell Caldwell. He's waiting, I believe, for the 6 of Bud Steele here. Does not want to risk getting a pit penalty here, but the problem is he's gonna have to try to get in the pits now. He's gonna have to hustle though, Dale, because say right now the leader's coming through the backstretch here, so he's gonna have a hard time, I feel like, getting caught back up to this field.
Yeah, and the thing is, he has to pit. I mean, there's no way around it. 18 laps since his Windows pit run. He has no choice.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to do is he's gonna have to really hustle, but it's gonna put him in a bad spot here, unfortunately. So I think what we saw there was he was having to wait for the 6 of Bud Steele. Bud was getting damage repaired, so the problem is when you're the lucky dog, you have to wait for all the leaders to come through. So yeah, it's unfortunate. This is gonna put Maxwell in a really tough position here to be in. That's almost one of those situations where I say it's hard for the admins to kind of race and admin at the same time, but you really would have hoped to be able to maybe get one cleared there. So. However, though, we're about to go back to green. Say Max has just left the pits here as the leaders are about to get the green flag. So he's going to pretty much start this thing off just over half a lap down as you see Matt Wagner leads the field back to green.
Yeah, only 3 cars starting out on that top side. So Matt Wagner's able to get out to a decently, healthy lead as Merkel's still up top. Though I kind of expected him to work his way to the bottom in front of Kyle Hess.
Yeah, so you want to try to get to the bottom when you can, but yeah, he's just going to have some help though here. He got James Ledford locked on right behind him here, and you see James able to get some really good momentum right at the exit of turn number 2, so that's going to be able to give him a good push here down the back stretch, I should say. And I think might be able to actually get that push almost, nope, not quite. I wasn't sure if he'd be able to clear that 11 going into turn number 3. Can't quite do it, so he's going to stay pinned to that outside here.
Yeah, Matt Wagner and the 86 Kyle Hess, they kind of spread out there, just like they did right there going off the corner as Kyle Hess decides he wants the top lane too. But the last time Tom Merkel gained all that momentum because the 11 and the 86 spread out.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think things went bad from bad to worse there for Maxwell Caldwell. So he's back in the pits, as is Eric Laurie. I think those are most likely pit penalties. Again, say just unfortunate. So I feel like both of those probably likely avoidable. And that's where we talked about the potential of maybe trying to see about having racing plus doing admin work at the same time. It's just really difficult to do, but unfortunately, sometimes it winds up catching some people out. So we'll keep an eye on those two guys and see how it winds up affecting them. But what's also happened here, Dale, is a few drivers are way off. Let's say this caution's really mixed up the field here and kind of put some people in some bad spots. Dean Wilkinson, he's off on his own here, no drafting help whatsoever. And also one of those drivers we talked about, Ryan Kelly, who's been up front for a long time. He's also way off the field. Here you see Bud Steele. I think he's still got damage that he's trying to get repaired to his car. Not sure if he's out of fast repairs or not, but he's definitely not up to pace there. So yeah, actually, as I say that, it looks like the 94 and the 071 of Eric Laurie are back exiting the pits now, which is going to now put Maxwell, it looks like, 2 laps down, Eric Laurie 1 lap down. So let's say we went from a positive situation for that 94 car, went from way worse. And we have a big issue there in turn 3. We have cars around. We're going to be back under yellow here, which say probably timing not exactly what those guys are hoping for, but at least might be able to help their chances back out here. Looks like Paul Patterson may have got the worst of it there. So what we saw there, Dale, is a lot of drivers there hit the apron at the entry of turn number, I think it was turn number 3 or 1. I honestly can't remember which turn it was. Let's take a better look here, try to find an angle here we can see it. What you're going to see is you're going to see a bunch of cars here hit the apron on the entry. Looks like the 48, the 26, and unfortunately the 48 hung on to it, but the 26 spun right in front of the 12 of Robbie Richards. And Robbie actually takes a brutal hit as well. You see wow. Let's go back there. As you see, Robbie Richards, he got hit by the 7. I believe that was a Dale Willoughby. You see Raymond Renner just sneaks by, as is the one of Gabe Butler there. So actually, I think those two got the worst of it. I think Dale Willoughby did hit the 12, but I think may have got the kind of the net code, if you will, where it hit the 12, but the 12 got away, or I should say the 7 got away with the hit. So big break for him. So it's going to put us back under yellow. And I believe this will be a big break for, I'm trying to see which driver is going to be the one to benefit from this. If it's going to be the 101 of Randy Minor. But what could happen here, Dale, is people, if drivers all top off here, possibly under this yellow or pit under this yellow, which it looks like it's a mixed bag. Yeah, it's going to be a mixed bag here. I was going to say some drivers might be able to get a wave around this way, but unfortunately not going to actually come into fruition, as it looks like Jim Brooks is going to decide he wants that track position. So he's going to get a lap led in that 76 car here.
And I know it's a little early for this, but we've seen Jim, kind of go off pit strategy before and win races. He won earlier this season. He won last season in the Cup Series at Texas by taking 2 tires when pretty much everybody else took 4 behind him. So we've seen him capitalize on these types of situations in the past.
Yeah, it's very true. And it looks like it's going to be Eric Laurie who's going to be able to get his lap back in the 071 car. So say a big break for Eric. Like I said, I think right now the driver that got the worst out of that one is going to be that 94 Maxwell Caldwell. Went from being 1 lap down to getting his lap back to now being 2 down in the 94 car. So I'm sure definitely some frustration in that under kind of behind the wheel of that 94 car. So we'll see if he's able to get something going from. The problem for him, though, we mentioned Randy Minor in the 101. He's also 1 lap down. So the problem is now is he's going to have 1 car in front of him that's basically got priority, if you will, if a caution comes out. Unless he gets involved in it, then it would go to Maxwell. But yeah, so just unfortunately really Maxwell just got dealt a bad hand there.
Yeah, and it's just one of the consequences of how iRacing does penalties and all that. iRacing is not able to take in logic of the situation as we are commentating it, so it kind of just has to go off of what it can see in the program. And a lot of times you see people get caught short-handed because of it. Yeah,
exactly right. So I'll say we'll see. I mean, maybe he'll get a little bit of a break there and be able to make something happen from it. Also notice there Kevin Hash, a long pit stop in that 03 car. Looks like he's back going again, so it may have been some damage repairs to his machine as well. So we did have a few drivers have some slightly longer pit stops. One of those being actually that 101 of Randy Minor, and also, of course, like you just mentioned, the 03 Kevin Hash. So one thing that Jim did have going for him there, Dale, that last time was he actually did take 4 tires and fuel at last pit stop. So he is going to have fresh tires on that car. So I think that's going to help on this restart especially. But also, of course, if you're going to take tires, you definitely want to do it under yellow versus under green here. So we'll have to see how this restart goes. He's going to have Alberto Lopez behind him. And he's going to have Michael Spell as that 3rd car on the inside line. And up top, we talked about Bobby Hash. He's back in this one again. So even still with that damage, but that car definitely still showing that it's definitely got some speed.
Yeah, just a little bit of left front, it looks like. But hopefully it doesn't affect him too much out here in clean air.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. Like I said, I feel like the rear damage, if you're going to have it at these kinds of races, I think the rear is going to be where you'd prefer it. So if you're the 3 car, you're telling everybody it's just a flesh wound. Don't worry, I'm fine. So yeah. But again, I mean, I feel like he's probably at least got 1, if not both, fast repairs remaining as well. So maybe he uses that when it's the opportune time on one of those final pit stops.
Yeah, and I believe you're right on that because he's had that rear end damage for quite a while now.
And so we did have a lot of drivers top off here on that 1 to go as well. I believe may have been led off by that 55 of Dean Wilkinson. So yeah, so we're going to have a little bit of some mixed bags here. Actually, I should say Matt Quick, I think, is going to be the first one that went ahead and topped off on that 1 to go. So again, we don't think anybody's going to be able to make it from here at this point, but depending on how cautions fall, some of these guys are probably going kind of max fuel save and just try to maybe try to pull one out of the hat and be in the position at the right place at the right time. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. We still, again, going to be restarting here. 26 to go, so just at about 1/3 distance left in this one. As Jim Brooks going to lead the field here back to green as he is down and away.
Yeah, even Jim had a little bit of a wiggle there on fresh tires. I'd hate to be in the car with the guys who have a little bit older tires on that restart.
Yeah, you can see that just a really spread out restart there. So it's going to be, I would say at the moment, a bit of a break for Jim and Alberto here. They're going to line up 1-2 nice and easy. However, what you're going to see is going to happen is Michael Spell is going to get a massive run here coming down the backstretch and possibly into turn number 3. So now for Michael, if he can time this run right, he's going to be able to get huge momentum on these top 2.
Yeah, Country Time made a big move to the outside, that 90 car of John Brill.
You see Michael Spell is going to use that momentum. He's going to jump to the top, but he loses Bobby Hash behind him. So I think that was almost actually probably about the worst time. You wanted to have that run, I feel like, coming right out of turn number 4, really, to be able to then take the maximum potential out of it. But you're right, though. He's going to be picking up some speed here and some help from that 90 of John Brill, who's got Kyle Hess right behind him. As you can see, he gets really wiggly there. And I think what we're seeing here, though, I just noticed, Dale, as you see one car pop to the top. We talked about Maxwell Caldwell kind of getting the short end of the stick. He's going to try to, I think, do this the old-fashioned way, get one of those 2 laps back himself here. So I think we're going to see Maxwell, I think, try to put some moves on here and try to get to the front and see if he can maybe get out in front before caution falls.
Yeah, if he can do that, obviously he'll get that lap back, and that would put Randy Minor well, Randy Minor already is in the lucky dog position. But he really needs that to happen, and then one more caution.
Yeah, exactly right. I say if you're really gambling, actually, as I say that, it looks like Randy Minor, I believe that is hitting the pits here. So that's going to open the door here for Maxwell to have some opportunities. So I say if he could get out there, like I said, I was going to say the perfect situation for him would be to be able to get that lap back and then maybe have something, maybe Randy get caught up in or something like that to give him a penalty. So we'll keep an eye and see if Maxwell's able to get to the front of his field, because he's definitely going after it right now. So trying to push that 81 there of Todd Merkel.
Yeah, Max definitely knows the potential and what's at stake here, and this is a great opportunity to get back on the lead line.
Yeah, because right now Randy Minor is still sitting in the pit, so it looks like it's going to be now the 2 of them both being 2 laps down. So like I said, even if he doesn't get the lap back, he would be able to get one of the 2, which would still require, though, those 2 cautions. As you see, big wiggle there in the front group. Maxwell's going to jump to the inside there, right in front of the 11 of Matt Wagner. So things definitely getting dicey up front. So I say right now, actually, also if things happen, it seems like the inside line is usually the safer place to be. But I say right now, though, I talked about Jim Brooks. I felt like he was going to maybe get kind of freight trained there with that big lead he had with Alberto Lopez, but he's been able to hold on to that momentum here on that inside line.
Yeah, I was kind of in that same school of thought. He was going to get freight trained, end up getting stuck up high, or just have a couple cars clear on the high side. But he's done a very good job of managing what he has as we come around to 24 to go.
Yeah, actually we're 23 to go. I think it's gonna be 22 to go. Yeah, 22 to go at the line. And we talked about the split groups again, Dale. And so right now Kevin Hash, he's right on the very outer edge of being on this lead pack. But then I think we see some strategy kind of unfolding here. Gabe Butler, he's leading Raymond Rittenauer. You got the 071 Eric Laurie. You see the 25 Kevin Freeze right there with him as well. And I believe that's the 17 of Chad Wilkes also. So I think some strategy is afoot, as I like to say, with these guys. So what I'm going to expect we're going to see from these guys is once that pit window is open, plus a little bit of buffer for a Green White Checkers, I think we're going to see that second group come into pit here. Because what they can do here, Dale, is they can pit once that window's open. Actually, as I say that, we've got a big group coming in now. We got trouble coming into pits as well. We see the 25 took a shot, the 11 took a shot. The 17, I should say, took a shot there. So that was exactly what was happening here. They were pitting with 20 to go there on the dot. With some of those guys up front, some of them a little further back, and unfortunately a few drivers getting caught up in that one.
Yeah, had the caution came out there, it'd have been great for Jim Brooks. It did not, so he's going to look at having to pit here in about 5 or 6 laps, as well as about 6 cars behind him.
Yeah, it just looks. Oh, actually, Raymond Rittenauer, he took a bit of a shot to the inside wall as well, and saying that was the 17 and 25. They had some contact here as well. So it didn't go to plan for them, unfortunately. I said this is probably one of the most difficult pit entries to get into. You see a few guys making some smart decisions that are jump actually into the pit lane there, because then you don't have to worry about getting run over on the pit stops. But with that, I believe Jim Brooks, he's made a pit stop if I'm not mistaken. Or no, actually, no, I'm sorry. James Ledford and Michael Spell, they just gotten around that 71 car. So right now these guys this is going to get dicey here, Dale, because I've got guys coming out of the pits in this lead pack here with a big head of steam.
Yeah, and also is going to change things up for Max Caldwell, at least for a couple of laps, as he is now the first car 2 laps down, but you have multiple cars that are a lap down.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of cars just got 1 lap down there. So he's actually gotten right to the back of the 86 of Kyle Hess here. So if he can get this momentum, he can push this 86 car, he might have a chance here to get to the leader here. But now he's got to find a way to get around this leader. So as I was going to say, he needs to get to the inside of Kyle right there, and he does. So say right now you see Maxwell kind of doing exactly what he's going to have to do here to put himself in that position. So now he's got to hope that James Ledford can get latched onto him, and then maybe he can push this inside line and keep this front spot.
Yeah, and nobody has more at stake on being in front of this pack than Max Caldwell. I mean, we still got 20 laps of racing left. Being the leader right now isn't going to make a whole bunch of difference, but if you're Max Caldwell, getting that lap back like you just did does make a huge difference.
Yeah, and it's tight right now because, as I say, now here comes that outside line. You got Matt Quick, who just pitted there with the one of Gabe Butler. They want to do the same thing. They want to make sure they're on the tail end of the lead lap here. So right now we're about to have a 3-wide battle here for the lead. But unfortunately, you see for Maxwell, you see the 86 of Kyle Hess. He's able to just peek under. Oh, doesn't get enough room, though. So actually, Maxwell is going to get that position here. So that's going to put him back to 1 lap down here. So these guys, like I said, right now we've got a mixed bag of drivers lead laps down in this lead pack here, and it's getting dicey again.
The one just absolutely rocketed the 89 of Matt Quick out in front of everybody, taking Jim Brooks along with him.
Yeah, as I say, now you see Jim Brooks, actually, he's taking back over the point here. He's going to have a few more laps before he has to make his final pit stop. Like I said, I think he's going to, at this point, I think he's just going to have to run it out on fuel. But, yeah, actually, you see Matt Wagner, he's going to duck in here on his own. And I think, like I said, I think pitting here by yourself might be a good option here as long as you can get caught up with the draft once that happens on the pit exit. So, say Matt Wagner, he's making his scheduled final stop. But right now, Jim Brooks leading the way here. Kyle Hess behind him. Todd Merkel in third. And again, now you see Max Caldwell, though, he's going to jump to the top. He needs to try to get around these top 3 to be able to be just 1 lap down instead of 2 down. But unfortunately, just right now, the outside line's kind of fizzled out a little bit.
Yeah, Jim Brooks is going to have to make his way down pit road here in about a lap or 2, I'd say. So it's going to shake things up yet again.
Yeah, exactly right. So he can make it to the end from here, but I say I think this is where if you're Jim, though, you stay out as long as you can, because right now those 2 in front of him, the 1 and the 89, they're the only ones that have been able to get their lap back from that pit stop strategy. So I mean, if you can trap all those guys a lap down, I mean, they'll take the wave around there, Dale, but they would still wind up having to restart behind all these guys that would pit under green. So I kind of like this strategy to say it's one of those ones where you try to put the guys maybe in a tough position here. But actually, the one that's in a really good two drivers in a really good spot here is that 90 of John Brill in that country time car. He can go about 6 more laps than Jim Brooks, and also the 13 of Ryan Kelly. He can also do about the same. So those guys are in this lead pack, and they can go a little bit further than Jim Brooks. So I'll be curious to see if they maybe try to take the same approach as well, and maybe just try to run this thing out and see if they can keep some guys trapped a lap down.
Yeah, and as these Kyle Hess, Jim Brooks, Todd Merkel, James Letford, Michael Spell, they have to pit here in a couple laps, and that increases that probability of another caution for favoring Ryan Kelly and who was with him there, John Brill.
Yeah, exactly right. See, Matt Wagner, he does get out of the pits here. I'm looking at Matt's lap time, his pit stop time. Oh, actually, I think Matt Wagner got maybe either too fast on entry, too fast on exit. He had about a 50-second pit stop, so that actually puts Matt Wagner now 2 laps down in the 11 car. So unfortunately, he had the clean entry, but did not go to plan for him. So this green flag pit stop cycle is definitely starting to throw a few people for a loop here. All right, so you're right, though. I mean, right now Jim's on lap 22 of his run. We had a few caution laps, so I mean, that may be stretching it a little bit, but I think within the next lap or 2, I feel like he's going to have to pit, along with pretty much the top 5 here. Like I said, I think right now the 2 that can really go a little bit farther are that 13 and the 90 car, so I like where they are. Like I said, I think you can maybe try to pin some people here. And the other thing this does for those guys is they don't have to take nearly as much fuel as Jim Brooks and company, but again, all lead pack here, they still stay out this time.
Yeah, my concern with Ryan Kelly and John Brill is how far back they are from Matt Quick. When the green flag pit stops do happen here in a couple laps, they're going to have a little catching up to do to get back to that bumper and stay in what little bit of draft there is.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But what Matt can do, and actually he does it right now, that he might have been listening to us there, Dale. He's going to pick up this top groove here with the 7 of Dale Willoughby, the 8 of Dude Conrad. So he's going to actually make some big drafts with them. As you see, the 89, or sorry, the 94 Maxwell Caldwell, he's going to jump to the top as well. So based on that, I'm suspecting we're going to see these leaders probably calling, hey, we're going to be pitting this time by. So we'll watch the 76, watch the 86 as you get, here they come. They're all coming into the pits. See Jim locking it down, trying to get down to 65. It's going to be tough. We'll see if he's able to make it. I don't know if he made it or not, but that's going to give now Ryan Kelly the race lead in that number 13 car. But say you can see, though, what this has done, though, Maxwell Caldwell, this now puts him just that 1 lap down, which, again, that's going to be kind of his mission number 1 there. And also on the lead lap still is that number 20 of Alberto Lopez. Alberto actually saved fuel there as well. He's able to stretch it a little bit further. However, he's going to have to pit here very shortly, probably this time as well. But if you're John Brill, if you're Ryan Kelly, I think you run this thing out as far as you can.
Looks like Jim Brooks just barely got it down, as he has an 11.2 second pit stop. So
yeah.
That was a good effort.
Yeah. So now the question is, is he able to get back on track here with the lead pack? Because they say once the pit stop cycles kind of finish through, it's going to be the 89 and the 1 that we're going to be watching for, because they should cycle around as our race leaders. So. But right now, say again, Ryan Kelly showing as a race leader. And yeah, here comes the lead pack. So this will put these guys down again, down a lap here at the moment. But we'll see how things cycle through the rest of the way.
Yeah, Jim and Michael Spell's got to be careful. I don't know if they can see it or not, but the car, what is it? The 6 car right there.
Sorry to say, close call there between the 94 and the 11 car. They were trying to squeeze through the, I believe that was the 86 Kyle Hess. Kyle actually had a really good pit stop here, so he's going to be able to, if he can keep up with this draft here, he's going to also be in this mix here at the end. But right now we got 10 to go here, Dale, and I believe Ryan Kelly probably about 3 to 4 more laps of fuel in that 94, or sorry, in the 13 car, I should say. So I mean, he also might be trying to save as much as he can here. He's in a nice little pocket here, so if that 13 car, if he can take just enough fuel to make it to the end, if we do go green the rest of the way, he could be in a really good position here.
Yeah, and it depends on getting that fuel number right to have the shortest pit stop possible, and then getting on and off pit road like we talk about so much.
Yeah, so again, right now you can see right now like 5 cars just on the lead lap here. Actually, as I said, here comes Ryan Kelly now. I thought he could go further, but he decides to pit here at 10 to go, coming to 9 to go. So does John Brill, Alberto Lopez. As you see, he locked it down on entry. Hopefully, he was able to get down to speed. So what this will do, though, is once their pit stop cycle is complete, right now our 1-2 is going to be Matt Quick and Gabe Butler, but the question is going to be how quick is the pit stop for those those 3, I should say, that just pitted, because that's going to be the potential for being able to win this race here. And actually, after the pit stop cycle, Maxwell Caldwell, he's 3rd in line. He's still 1 down, but now he's in that spot again where if he can get around these leaders, he could be that be on the tail end of the lead lap instead of one lap down here. But the problem is, though, if you look at the guys around him, it's all those guys that we talk about who run together week in and week out, with the 89, the 1, the 7, the 8, the 87's right there as well. So I don't think he's going to have the help that he might want to have. So. And I should say that the 13 Ryan Kelly, he's just now exiting the pits, getting back up to speed. Oh, as I said, a caution comes out. I believe it may have been the 90 of John Brill. So this is actually going to give Ryan Kelly the lead here, because those guys had not caught him yet before the yellow came out. I'm trying to see what it was, and I think it might have been the 11 of Matt Wagner. Yeah, that car is smoking. So this could be, I think this also going to be a big break for Maxwell Caldwell. I think this is again getting back on the lead lap with here just within 10 to go. Let's go back and see what happened here. All right, so we're going to watch the 11 of Matt Wagner here as he enters turn number 1. Oh, yeah, I see the 3 of Bobby Hash. Unfortunately, just washes up a little bit. We saw that earlier with the 48. That sends the 11 around. I'd say that actually that was right past the 90 of John Brill, just exiting the pits, and then actually Randy Miner gives Matt another shot there. But it looks like Randy actually gets away with it there. So pretty much a 1-car incident here. You see, it's going to be a big break for a few drivers that fell out of that lead pack as well here. But unfortunately, say Matt Wagner not getting the worst of it there, Dale. But like I said, a bad break for the 11 car is going to be, I believe, a big break for the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell, and a huge break for that 13 of Ryan Kelly as he's going to cycle again back out in the lead here. The problem, though, is that he needs to have some friends, and right now, say he's got kind of the opposite of that all lined up behind him here.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan Kelly could have planned that as well as it happened. But you're absolutely right. He's kind of in a little bit of a hornet's nest when we go green.
Although I'm looking now, so you see Alberto Lopez, he's actually rolling up behind that that 13 car. As you see, also the 89 and the 1 here, I think they're going full fuel save on those guys. I think they pitted right at the edge of their window here, so they're going to have to be careful and say this again. We talked about green white checkered potentials. This could come into play for them. As you got a few drivers here pitting under this caution. You see Bobby Hash in the 3. He has just hit the pits as well. I think he's going to get some. I think probably one of those fast pairs done now, most likely. Also, Kevin Freeze, Chad Wilkes, Kevin Hash, they're also hitting the pits. They were still on the lead lap, but again, we talked about Maxwell Caldwell. Second time again here, Dale. He had to work extremely hard for it and about half the race for it, but he's going to finally get that lap back again. And hopefully this time he'll be able to get away with it and not have to make a green flag pit stop. As we saw, he got burned on that last penalty. So, like I said, I think if there's going to be somebody who's going to be doing everything he can to get a chance here tonight, to kind of the hard charger, if you will, and probably the driver that's had to fight the most, it's going to be that 94.
Yeah, and that's a real tiring situation to be in when you get so close and things happen that are beyond your control. And that's what he's dealt with, like you say, for like half the race. So it's good to see him back in the lead lap, and pretty excited to see what Maxwell Caldwell can do with it.
Yeah, I think we're going to see definitely that 94 making some moves from the back to the front here. Unfortunately, it looks like that was the end of the evening for Matt Wagner. And yeah, I think he was trying to do the exact same thing he was saying as that 94 car, just unfortunately just got caught out by a couple guys. Again, you can see some big fuel savings going. Actually, I think Ryan Kelly couldn't get the car refired there. He's able to get it going again now. But yeah, you can see everybody was kind of stacking up behind him because they're just entering turn number 3. But if you jump to Matt quick, you see the pace car is actually kind of midway through the turn. So I think that 13 maybe been doing some fuel savings as well there. Alright, so I think we're going to get the 1 to go here. You can see everybody's, again, running the apron, just saving as much fuel as possible here. And I was saying, it was funny, I was talking to Ryan Kelly before the race here, and I say, it sounds like he's definitely more of a Chevy guy. So he wound up running the Ford here this evening. So I say he's going to be in a tough spot if he's able to get a top 3 in a Ford here. I say I'm not sure if he's going to know how to feel about that one, but he's going to have about... It looks like we're going to restart with 5 to go here, Deal. So just outside the green-white checkered window. Like I said, 3 attempts of that one here tonight. So if these guys are tight on fuel now, if we get into that window, it's going to be even more tricky.
Yeah, and these are the kind of risks you take to win these big races.
Yeah, exactly right. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye. So the problem, though, for that 13, for the 20, look behind him, Dale. You've got the 89, you got the 1, you got the 7, you got the 8, you've got the 87. I mean, you've got, like I said, you've got the Superspeedway, just like experts, if you will, that like I say, they've got this thing down to a science, and they're all right behind him, so they're going to be in a tough spot. And then I'll say, of course, we're going to have to watch some of these guys coming from the back, like Kevin Freeze, Kevin Hash, Bobby Hash. They're going to be able to make something happen too. I'm getting some insider info here, though. Dale, say we got Larry Yingling kind of chatting with us here on YouTube. So it sounds like Ryan's got a secret love for the Mustang. So it's one of those forbidden loves, I think, with that 13 car of Ryan Kelly. But like I said, maybe that forbidden love will come out into the open here if he's able to get a good result here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, a win here, he ought to run a Mustang forever after that, I think.
Yeah, I bet Larry will be able to find a paint scheme for him too if that comes into play. So, and I say also Matt Wagner, his best. Unfortunately, I said night didn't go well for him, but I say really appreciate you being able to still kind of support the broadcast, Matt. I say always fun to see you here with us. All right, Dale, we're gonna restart here though. 5 to go. We'll see how this one's gonna finish up.
Little bit of a wobble there out of Ryan Kelly, and the 20 jumps down behind him in the bottom lane, which is about the best thing for Ryan Kelly right now.
Yeah, so we're gonna. I think once you get off of turn number 2, though, so you want to get to the bottom here early. But I think once you get out of turn number 2, that outside is gonna form. Actually, Matt Quick, he's gonna waste no time. He's gonna pick up that top side because you can see he's able to get through the gears really well there. And here comes his little brigade behind him, if you will. You get the one of Gabe Butler right there. He's locked onto him. Here comes the 7 as well. And then I believe that is the 8 of Dude Conrad. And I say not too far distant future, I think we're going to see that 87 of Raymond Rittenauer as well. So I said that top line is making a big momentum shift. And yeah, there you go. They're going to clear the 13. So I say now Ryan Kelly, he's going to be in that position to try to get that momentum run on these top 2 in front.
Yeah, I think I would have decided that top lane was the lane for me while they were still next to that 20 car. But everybody's got different ways of looking at it. Like I said earlier, we'll see how this works out for them.
I mean, it's all going to be about getting the help you need at the right time. So, I mean, like I said, right now, really, anybody has a really good chance at this one. I say we mentioned the 94 Maxwell Caldwell. I say he's back into this mix as well. He's still in this lead pack. So, unfortunately, it looks like Eric Laurie may have got burned again. He's having to pit here under green. So, like I said, I think we're also going to probably see some fastest laps of the race here in these next couple laps because these guys are going to be pushing for all they're worth these remaining 3 laps here.
Yeah, and you got some of the best in the league up here pushing. As Raymond Rittenauer poked his head up there on the top side behind that 8 of Dude Conrad.
Yeah, and the question is going to be when do we see that third line form as well? We saw that actually definitely came into play as well. So right now we've got pretty much 2 solid lines of drivers here. There goes Kevin Hash. He runs the fastest lap of the race. 43, what was that? 43.579, a full second quicker than the leaders up front here.
Well, like I say, he's got that traction compound sponsor, so I'm sure they're helping him out there, and giving him a little extra top line grip.
Yeah, so he's definitely got some good grip on that line. The third line has formed. You see Dude Conrad, he's trying to lead it there with that 0-3 and the 25. The 3's coming in as well, but this is where it gets dicey. You see James Love, we're going to go 4 wide here through turns 3 and 4. Say they got to make sure they give each other enough room. They just do. We stay now back to 3 wide. But yeah, business is picking up here, Dale. 2 to go.
Those are the times when you start sweating, your hands start sweating and all that, when you know you're 4 wide and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Oh, you see the one car. Oh, we have big trouble there. We saw the 55 catch the apron on the entry of the turn. That's going to bring the caution back out. There it goes. Unfortunately, let's say Dean Wilkinson just misjudged the entry a little bit too soon there. Kind of got shallow, and he washes up there and got a pretty big incident there, unfortunately, there. So we talked about the fuel window. We were at 2 to go. This is going to stretch it almost at its worst opportunity here. So these guys, we talked about the fuel window. It's going to be very tight for a lot of drivers. But let's go back and see what happened here. So we're watching the 55 Dean Wilkinson. I think that's really where it all kicked off because I think he just unfortunately got too low on the entry here. You can see, actually he got a little bit of a push there from the 94 Maxwell Caldwell. I think just Maxwell not knowing how tight they were coming up to Jim Brooks there, and that pushed actually the 55 down. Then unfortunately to say from there, just nothing that the 17 can do. The 55 is almost along for the right a little bit, but yeah. So then you see a few cars actually not. Looks like James Ledford, Dean Wilkinson may have taken the worst of it there. You see the Hash brothers there up on the top side there as well. And then, actually, it looks like Bobby Hash gets a bit of a shot from the 88 of Michael Spell there. But I think as a whole, I think these guys will all be okay to kind of keep going here the rest of the way. But yeah, and see Randy Meyer just sneaks behind the 3 there. So yeah, some drivers are definitely going to have some damage here, Dale. But I don't think it's going to hurt them as much as it definitely could have. I'm sure, unfortunately, we talked about 3. He did get a fast repair, Dale, but unfortunately, that fast repair did not last very long.
Yeah, there's a lot of unfortunates right now at this point of race, and Matt Quick, Gabe Butler, Dale Willoughby, Raymond Rittenauer, and Dude Conrad are all looking them right in the face, I think. Yeah,
that's going to be so you see Matt Quick, he's kind of just coasting as far as he can. I want to see, is anybody going to duck in here? But I think these guys feel like they're going to have to be pretty committed to staying out at this point. I think one that's coming in is that 17 of Chad Wilkes. That's just due to damage on his machine. I think it's the same for some of these guys behind him as well. So, yeah, these guys, I think, like I said, they made their bed. They're going to be laying in it. And now the question is, I believe this should give us a lucky dog here as well. We'll have to see who that's going to go to. I believe it might be the 90 of John Burrill. We'll keep an eye on that country time car. So otherwise, if it's not him, I think it would go to the 71 of Eric Laurie. But here comes John Burrill. He's going to get his lap back again. Saying we saw John up front earlier on, so we'll see if he can maybe make something happen here. As we always joke about the 72 of Eric Schaus running the bottom here, but now we've got Matt Quick running the lowest you possibly can here on the track. Same thing for Gabe Butler. These guys saving every ounce of fuel they can.
You know, we've seen them. We've seen about every one of these drivers we're talking about come very close, like running out, you know, before they get back to do a burnout or during the burnout. This might be the first time we see one of them run out coming to the checker flag.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a track for it to happen, it's going to be here because, again, it's a 3-mile long track pretty much, and then you're running 230, 240. I mean, yeah, if you're going to sputter, it's going to show, and it's going to show in a big way here. So, again, this is the first attempt of a green-white checker finish. We have 3 attempts, so basically for Matt Quick and company, for these guys that are trying to save it really aggressively right now, they want this to finish under this restart here, which will say we'll get the white one to go next time around. But if we get that second attempt to say if a caution comes out before that white flag flies, I don't think they're going to be able to stretch it to the end there. But that being said, I love the gambles these guys make, and usually, like I said, more often than not, they make it pay off. So it's going to be curious to see how it does pan out tonight. I said we're about to see the one to go here this next time around, and we're going to have 19 cars eligible, it looks like, to be able to be a part of this one. I see right now long pit stops for Chad Wilkes, Kevin Hash. Chad Wilkes just rolling out now. Kevin Hash actually looks like he is still in the pit, so I think, unfortunately, he's going to go a lap down. So that's going to bring us down to 18 cars. So unfortunately, as I said, the stripper glitter traction compound not gonna play out for him tonight, but so he did get the pole, so you say he at least got the better of better Kevin here on the qualifying side of things, but unfortunately the race not going to the way he was hoping for.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about this one, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's also split up the teams here a little bit. You see that you got the 3 together here, though. You still got the 89, the 1, and the 7 of Matt Quick, Gabe Butler, Dale Willoughby. So I suspect we'll see them trying to get together. Raymond Rittenauer, he's going to be back in 7th position. However, he's got that the 8 of Dude Conrad right with him, and Kevin Freeze is actually just to their outside. So kind of split up in 2 packs here. So say the question is going to be, what do some of these other guys do? If you're Ryan Kelly, who do you feel like you can work with? Maybe you try to, again, you kind of have to find the partners that you can, because of course he was working earlier with that 94 and with the 17. Let's say 17 also some pretty substantial damage to his car. It looks like he might be, unfortunately, out of the running. Actually, as I said, I think he just disconnected there, or took a tow, actually, it looks like. So yeah, so unfortunately, Ryan Kelly not going to have a ton of friends here right now. So we'll have to see how this is all going to pan out. But yeah, we're going to be restarting this one. Green-white checker attempt number 1 here, Dale. And again, we'll have to be watching the fuel calculators for some of these drivers here. All right, pace car just about to duck off. That's going to put it into the hands of that 89 car. Now, when do you go? And he's going to go now. Looks like a little early here for him. Try to split this field up a little bit, possibly, and maybe try to get some of his teammates lined up. But man, look at that one of Gabe Butler. He got through the gears very well here. We'll see if he can clear himself in turn 1, but looks like they're going to stay side by side.
Yeah, not really what Matt was looking to see with Gabe Butler and Dale Willoughby getting off the line so quick. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, so you see Gabe's going to jump to the inside as soon as he can, so I don't think that lined up exactly how they want to. But 2, I see, actually you see Ryan Kelly had to get, kind of got a little bit of bobble. He gets down to the apron. Now going to get back up on top, but here comes the outside line. Look at Raymond Rittenauer and Kevin Freeze with a huge head of steam here coming down the back.
Jim Brooks wants to, Matt Quick goes around.
Oh, you're right. He's saying this, we'll see if it brings out a yellow or not. He's got it pointed straight. We stay green somehow, Dale. So now it's going to be, looks like we might be able to get this done under 1 attempt here. You got the the 87-25 on the top side, 76 joining them. So as Jim Brooks, here comes Kyle Hess as well. And you see, it looks like, trying to make it forward. They go back to 3. You see Jim Brooks try to peek on the inside. Couldn't quite get it done there. Kyle Hess, he gets a bit of a shot there. He gets up into the wall. So we got half a lap left to go here at iRacing Superspeedway.
Everybody's just ducking and diving, trying to get whatever position they can right now. I really don't know where to walk.
Yeah, you're right. But you see the one of Gabe Butler, he got to the outside of Jim Brooks. Jim stayed committed to the inside line. We'll see if that winds up being the right call or not for these two, because right now the 87 and the 25, they're locked onto one another. So we'll see as they come out of 4 for the final time. Oh, contact between the 1 and the 76. Oh, it's going to get Maxwell Call. Oh, Maxwell Call, a brutal shot to the inside wall. And at the line, looks like Todd Merkel's going to grab third. Raymond Rittenauer going to get the win. 25 is going to, Kevin Freeze is going to get second. Todd Merkel grabs that third position. Unfortunately, though, Maxwell Caldwell, I'm glad this is simulator, because that was a brutal shot, and we're going to, unfortunately, go back and watch it. We're not under caution. But Maxwell was giving it everything. He was there. I mean, he was right there in contention for that top 3 finish, but yeah, he took a shot there. So let's unfortunately take a look at this one, because that, I don't think I've seen a hit like that before. Oh my goodness. That's about 230 to about 0 in 0 seconds flat there, Dale.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't have a motion rig. I know Jim Brooks does, and I've heard him talk about how rough those situations can be. So hopefully he didn't have a motion rig through that. Yeah,
that was a shot there. However, Raymond Rittenauer, though, with a huge restart with him and Kevin Freeze, he's going to pick up the win as you see him burning it down on the front stretch, doing a way better job of keeping that car straight during the burnout than I ever could. So I think he's had some practice doing that. So Raymond Rittenauer getting the win here tonight. And I say going to be $30 richer after the win here this evening. Kevin Freeze $20 richer. And then Todd Merkel, he's going to get $10 his way, as well as we continue to watch that 87 celebrate here. So we'll have to pull up our interviews, as it looks like he just finished up there. So let's go hunt down that 87, or sorry, the 81, I should say, of Todd Merkel. We'll have some time to chat with him. I know he's always one that enjoys being able to pull up some interviews. They say he's always he's able to do some nice name dropping as well, say with his pro stocks that he's able to do. So he's going to definitely have some nice sponsors to plug here tonight. I mean, and actually started third, finished third, Dale, too. So I mean, it was a really good run for him despite everything that was going on.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at how spread out the field got and all the different pit strategies and everything, that's a great run.
So let's go and pull that driver in. So Todd Merkel started third, finished third. I don't think it was that simple, though, for you tonight, Todd, to say, obviously kind of a bit of a dress rehearsal for next week when the points start mattering again on the Superspeedway series side of things. But man, you guys were going after it tonight, so you were able to make the right moves at the right time to have a chance at it there, but able to grab that third position. But how wild was that from the driver's point of view tonight? Uh-oh, I think we've lost that 81 car. All right, what we'll do, we'll come back to you, Todd. I'll say we'll get you squared away here. But yeah, we'll definitely pull you up here in just a moment. But what we will do is we'll switch over to the 25 of Kevin Freeze. Oh wait, I think I see you, Todd.
I know, and I forgot I attached a push to talk to this, so I apologize for that.
He's back.
But I did. I heard your question. It was pretty wild tonight. It's been a long time since we've had this kind of drafting on these super speedways. And yeah, it was pretty exciting racing. It was a good time. I got caught up in one of those early big ones. I had to use up a fast repair there. And it was just a matter of keeping it low and keeping it tight tonight.
Yeah, so say obviously, I mean, you've been one of the regulars on the super speedway side of things. So I mean, of course, we ran the Cup cars kind of ran like this before the update to the changed, and then now, of course, with it being the Xfinity cars, they still kind of have that big draft and the big speeds here. Do you feel like this is kind of back to where you guys like and where you're able to kind of dice it up a lot more, or did you prefer? I'd say. Basically, of the three, how are you feeling between this package, the original Cup package that we ran at the beginning, or, of course, the one that we've kind of gone away from?
Well, this package isn't miles away from the original Cup package. I don't think anybody likes the new Cup package on these super speedways. That may be more realistic, but it's not as much fun. The original Cup package was good. But it looks like I run pretty good with the Xfinity cars on the super speedways. I was in the second row tonight. I don't normally qualify very well. I felt pretty fast all night, so I'm looking forward to doing more super speedway with the Xfinity car.
Yeah, so you definitely were doing really well tonight. Of course, I'll say another thing is it's not something you really think about too, but I'll say obviously with the Cup cars, they got the digital cockpit. Here we're back on the analog gauges. How are you feeling about that? Was that anything you had to adjust to kind of keep an eye on those water and oil temps, or was it pretty easy to monitor those still?
Well, while it probably makes me not the greatest pusher in the world, I don't normally tailgate too bad, and I don't typically have trouble with temperatures. So even like, I got to be honest, I don't even know where the gauges are in this car yet. I wait for my crew chief to tell me I need help there.
Well, I mean, and that's actually a good point. Is the learning curve of having to adjust for all of that stuff, and the other thing too, of course, is every car is different. I mean, obviously you're running the Fords here, but I know the Chevy and the Toyota, like the gauges aren't laid out exactly the same like the digital dashes are. So say each driver is going to have a little bit of a different challenge there tonight. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I'd say you obviously you got your Merkle Racing engine. Say it's like you never left on the paint scheme side of things. Let's say you got a nice green Mustang on the Cup side. You got a nice green Mustang here on the Xfinity side. So say your paint guys are there ready to roll for you tonight.
Well, I really enjoyed it, and you may know who built the setup for this, but I really, really like this setup. So hats off to them, and hopefully you know who it is so that we can give them credit here.
I want to say I think it was one of our regulars as well that races with you guys. I think it may have been kind of a combo set with Gabe Butler and company. I'll ask Kevin and Raymond when we talk to them as well to see if we can find out for sure. But yeah, I was saying that's something Dale and I were talking about is just the time and effort and the dedication that some of these guys they race here, but they also try to help the series out by having these nice setups for all three series, the Cup side as well as the Indy cars, of course, too. So. Yeah, you're right, though. Really, it's really cool to see these guys be able to work together and put these great setups in for you guys to be able to kind of show what you can do.
Yeah, they did an outstanding job. I think we're going to start seeing some really good racing because I'm pretty sure the broadcast booth was a little quiet for a few weeks there with the new Cup setup.
Yeah, it was definitely a different, for sure, a different type of racing that we were broadcasting there. I say you guys would find ways to kind of keep us on our toes with some strategies and things of that nature. But yeah, I say definitely was not what it once was. I say you guys showed tonight that it's definitely gonna be racy. We'll see those 2-3 lines come back again. So it's gonna be a lot of fun tonight. But I mean, again, just a great job for you tonight, Todd. Say you're gonna kind of put $10 actually back in your pocket after this third place finish tonight. But that being said, though, I got to give you the floor here because I know you got some nice quality sponsors there that you got to definitely give some TV time to.
Well, I appreciate that. And my Ross Pistons propelled, Liberty gears shifted, and driven oil lubed machine ran pretty well tonight. And I really got to thank the Area 51 organization and the Green White Checker TV for doing these. It's really great to talk to you again. And now that we're running these Xfinity cars on the super speedways, I think I may have a better chance of talking to you more often in the future. So I appreciate that, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, we look forward to it, Ty. Say glad you enjoyed it tonight. Say definitely look forward to watching you again next week. Say it'll be fun to see that 81 Ford Mustang back up front again.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
All right, that's the 81 of Todd Merkle. Now we got to jump to that 25 of Kevin Freeze. Say we saw on that restart, Dale, him and Raymond Renner. I mean, they locked on. I want to say they're in about the 4th or 5th row there. We'll ask. I'll say I'm sure they're going to be aware of where they were on that restart, and they went top. And they showed that the tandem draft will work if you can make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And to get them there, there was a point where they were so fast they were almost a second faster than the leaders working their way through traffic about midway through the race.
Yeah, so let's go and pull up that number 25 of Kevin Freeze here. So I was joking with you earlier, Kevin, and say if you find some shiny numbers on a car, you're going to be in there. Say we had you obviously before with a 25 with the Folger scheme, I believe it was. So now you got that retro Budweiser scheme with the nice gold numbers on the door here tonight. But man, I think the first thing we got to start off with is that restart with you and Raymond there. I mean, you guys were. Honestly, first off, I want to say you guys were around, 10th place or so on that restart?
Yeah, I was in 10th. I think he was in 7th.
All right, so that's it. Then you guys found your way to get to the top on that restart. You guys locked on, and, I mean, you guys were gone. I mean, just take us through that restart. I mean, because you guys just, like I said, I mean, you were a few rows back, and you guys you were full send there.
Yeah, we once the bottom opened up and I saw I could get behind Ray, I just locked on it. And he had just enough gap to the pack in front of him that we could get tandem together and just get an absolutely humongous run down the back stretch and passed them pretty easy. They were a little disorganized on the bottom. Somebody tried going on the apron, came up a little bit, and that helped us.
Well, I say definitely don't sell yourself short though. Because I feel like for you guys, for yourself, Raymond, Gabe, Dale, and company, I'm guessing this kind of feels like kind of back to basics almost, if you will, where you guys can lock on, kind of keep lined up really well and make that speed there. How did it feel being back to these cars where you can really make some time happen if you can lock on together?
Oh, it was great. We did a practice session the other night, sort of to feel out with the setup after Gabe posted it, what it could do, and it's fun to drive. You can lock onto somebody, it doesn't get hot, and if it does, just cool it right down. It's refreshing after the A cars.
Yeah, so that answers one of the other questions. Was on the setup side, if it was, I knew it was kind of in your group that it was set up by us. So it sounds like Gabe was able to work some magic on that one. And saying that's one of the things we talked about again, just how cool it is to have drivers willing to help out with the league and find a setup that's racy, but also drivable, as well as a lot of guys, of course, try to figure out kind of just how to get the max lap times out of it. But with leagues like this, I mean, you got to have something that everybody can drive that and be comfortable and be able to put on these really good races with, which you guys definitely showed it here tonight. So it was a lot of fun. But I mean, take us through the race, because I mean, it wasn't all just an easy one where you're just kind of rolling through. So you guys obviously went a little bit off strategy on when to make that last pit stop there, which it kind of worked out there. But it looked like everybody was kind of in a mixed bag of a win to make that final stop tonight.
Yeah, I ended up losing the rest of my teammates on the pit stop because I went in just a little too hot, ended up wrecking myself. So we were off the pace. That caution really saved me. Um, yeah, these cars do not stop anything like the trucks or the A cars here. It's pretty crazy. And the rest of it, man, I just got really lucky. Dodged the wreck that Hash ended up in, and it was interesting.
Yeah, it was definitely a wild one tonight. And actually, that's gonna be a good thing to note too, is on the braking side of things that these cars don't stop like the trucks or the A cars. So that could also kind of bring into a big change for what to expect the rest of the way throughout this season as well. Drivers are gonna have to adjust to those braking points, getting in, because we know how important the in and out laps are on these pit stops.
Oh yeah, and even on pit road, not even just slowing up, coming to a stop in your box. They don't stop anywhere near as fast. You gotta take at least 2 stalls back and really start slowing the car down. Be careful.
Yeah, so hopefully drivers listening say they'll be able to make note of that, because that could definitely change things up a lot here. But I mean, just again, awesome job tonight. I say that restart with you and Raymond was just, I mean, that was just spot on. You guys did an awesome job here. But say that being said, though, I gotta give you the floor and give you any thanks, shouts you'd like to give for that run tonight, because I say you guys definitely well earned.
Yeah, shout out to Area 51 being open to go to the B car, and Gabe for putting together the setup and all the work that he put into 3 setups, because he also made one for Daytona and Dega. So, and just thank you to you for putting this on, and it was a lot of fun.
And I'll say, of course, enjoy the $20 that'll be going your way for getting that second place here tonight as well. Say whether it goes to more tracks, more license renewal, or membership renewals, if you will. Say it was a great job. It was a lot of fun seeing you guys mix it up and dice it up as always. But yeah, say enjoy this one, Kevin. We'll be chatting again with you here soon, I'm sure.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, Dylan, we got to jump over to our race winner, that number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. We've seen, again, kind of come to expect to see Raymond up there when it really counts at the end of these races. But I'd say you and Kevin there did it pretty much in dramatic fashion there, locking up on that top side and just going, felt like 10 miles an hour quicker than the rest of those guys there. I mean, you guys show what you can do when you can get locked on together and how to make that draft work tonight. But so obviously not an easy one tonight for anybody. A lot of stuff going on throughout the race, but once you and Kevin hooked up at the end there, you guys were rolling.
Oh, definitely. I was getting runs earlier in the race, but nothing like when Kevin got behind me. It was crazy. I think he said we were going like 13 mile an hour faster.
Well, it looked it. I mean, because we were watching the front pack there on that last restart, and then just like I said, just almost like a blur. You and the 25 just came flying through the top side on that restart on the backstretch. So I mean, yeah, you guys locked on, you stayed locked on, and you did exactly what you had to do there. And saying, of course, with this track, I mean, we see now with these cars just how big the momentum is. So were there any concerns with you and Kevin that maybe someone might be able to try to get a run on you to kind of get to your outside there, or with him being behind you, were you guys feeling pretty confident on that last lap?
I was very confident with him behind me. I got to thank him for that win. He totally did everything he could to get me up there. But no, I mean, if we would have got a run, if they would have got a run on the outside, I don't know if I'd have went up the block or not. But yeah, it was definitely a crazy finish.
Yeah, it was a wild one. We saw a couple of drivers come into the checker there, get caught up in a little bit of it, but I say when it was all said and done, you and Kevin were able to find your way to get to the front there. I was saying again, a lot of mixed strategies. I say you're one of those ones that kind of pitted. I believe that pitted kind of once the window opened there. How close were a couple of you guys on fuel there? Because it looked like it was going to be really tight, potentially on depending on how many green white checkers there were.
Yeah, if there was another green white checker, I would have had to have pit because I ran out doing burnouts. It was close.
Yeah, and that's what Dale and I were talking about. Is just you guys have to kind of take those gambles to put yourself in those positions. So I said obviously it worked out for you guys tonight. Because I mean again, and this is actually one of the harder tracks I feel like to make that green flag pit stop and get back on the lead lap or not lose the lead lap in the first place. Because just because of the outright pace of this track here. So I mean, how stressful was that as well? Hoping that there wasn't going to be a caution to kind of trap you guys down.
My green flag stop wasn't the greatest. I had to throw it into the wall just so I didn't speed crossing the line because I wasn't stopping. There was no way. So I figured burning a quick fix is better than getting a penalty. So lucked out there.
No, it sounds like it was an eventful one for you tonight. But I would say gets the win here with all that going on, still able to pull off the win. Say of course also $30 going to your pocket for the All-Star win here this evening. So I mean, congrats Raymond. But say before we let you go, though, definitely want to give you the floor here. Any thanks, shouts you'd like to give?
Yeah, I thank my sponsor, Lucky Dogs. Got to thank Kevin again for the amazing push he gave me. Gabe for the amazing setup that he built for us tonight, and you guys for doing the broadcast.
Yeah, so it's, like I said, it feels like it's easy to do for us. So say when you guys put on the racing like you do, and so I'm sure you guys are also kind of happy to be back to kind of the bread and butter, if you will, of the super speedway style of racing. I say with compared to what it was before. So I say I'm sure you guys are ready to be mixing up a lot more next week as well.
Oh yeah, it should be fun.
All right, I'll say enjoy the win, Raymond. Let's say it was a great job tonight. I look forward to catching you again here soon, sir.
All right, thanks.
All right, Dale, that is our race winner, Raymond Rittenauer, getting the win this evening. And yeah, I mean, I think it's safe to say that we're gonna be back to 2 wide, 3 wide tandem racing. I think things are definitely gonna be heating up again here in the Sunday series.
Yeah, and I'm sure the drivers are going to be happier. You know, I'll be more excited about it, obviously. So I think Area 51 made the right move. I know it was a tough decision, and there was a lot of deliberation about it, but ultimately, I think it was the right call.
Yeah, no, and that's what I love about this league is they're open to changes. They're willing to kind of adjust things based on what the drivers feel like it's going to be better for them, for the leagues and everything like that. So you kind of have that back and forth between the admins and the drivers, and I think that really goes a long ways with these leagues because it's kind of hard to do if you stay set in one thing that may not be popular with the drivers. It's one of those things that it doesn't lead to great racing, and of course you want to keep the drivers happy as well. And I think it's a good adjustment there for the admins. And I mean, I think it showed tonight. It was a lot of fun. It was a really exciting race as well. We saw actually 3 lines tonight, not even just the 2. So I think we're gonna be I think it's gonna be exciting again. And like I said, I think it was a little bit more aggressive maybe than usual, just with it being the All-Star race tonight, no points on the line. So while I think we're going to definitely, it's going to be racier again next week, I think it won't be nearly as crazy as it was this evening. I think we'll maybe see a couple of cautions and of course options for caution-free races still going into it as well. But yeah, I think it's definitely going to put on a better show for everybody.
Yeah, and there's, we got 6 weeks left, so there's plenty enough time for guys to adjust, and it's not going to impact too much, I don't think, on the final results of the season.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's a good point. And say again, we're going to be watching that top 8 as well. That's going to be critical. But a lot of these guys that are able to run tonight, it's going to be a good dress rehearsal for them for next week when it's a points paying event here at iRacing Superspeedway. However, with that, let's go over our final results. I'll say Raymond Rittenauer getting the win again in that number 87 machine. Him and Kevin Freeze just locking on, just going full send there at the end. Great job by the two of them. Say Todd Merkel, he was able to work lines. He's going to grab that 3rd spot. Dale Willoughby, he holds off Gabe Butler by 0.004 of a second for the 4th position over 5th. Alberto Lopez, he grabs that 6th spot. Dude Conrad 7th. Michael Spell in 8th. Dean Wilkinson in 9th. And then Ryan Kelly rounds out our top 10. 11th through 20th here, Jim Brooks, as they got caught up, unfortunately, had that little spin there, or contact, I should say, at the very end. Unfortunately, that drops him back to 11th. You got Bobby Hash, John Brill, James Ledford, Kyle Hess rounding out our top 15. Say Matt Quick, unfortunately, in the 16th spot. Maxwell Caldwell, I say he's going to be glad it was a simulator tonight. He's going to finish 17th. Probably, again, I think the hardest working driver tonight, having to try to kind of come back from laps down multiple times tonight in position there at the end. Unfortunately, meeting the wrong end of the pit wall on that final lap there. And you got Eric Laurie, Randy Miner, and Chad Wilkes in the top 20. And the remainder of the field here, again, drivers not having the nights they're looking for. Pole sitter Kevin Hash, unfortunately, finishes in the 21st position. You got Bud Steele, Matt Wagner as well, not having the night he was looking for. Paul Patterson, Robbie Richards, Dwight Plesh, and Todd Siebels rounding out our final results. All right, so that's it for us this evening, Dale. On the Super Speedway side of things, I'll say on Tuesday night is I believe, also the All-Star race for the Indy Series. Say Steve will be over there with me on that one. I'll say it'll be fun to see what they can put on, what kind of show they can put on for us as well. And then Thursday night we'll be back for the Cup side of things for the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro. So I'll say I'm going to be doing some throwback action over there. Say that's going to be a very different one, I think. I say that track definitely can be racy. But say with that high horsepower low downforce package at the short tracks, it's going to be one that these drivers are going to be really on their toes for.
Be a lot different than what everybody's used to. Should be a fun time.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So again, as always, Dale, thanks for joining me tonight. It's always a pleasure to race these with you, or broadcast, I should say, these races with you. Of course, hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. Hope you all had a very happy Easter. Look forward to catching you again on Tuesday night, if at all possible. And of course, if you can, please try to stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, and until Tuesday, have a good night, everyone.